Thank you. Thanks. I just thought I'd start by winging it and sharing my story. 5 years ago, I bought Signarama Tuggerah. They had a UV printer in there. I used to itch and I got like scratchy head and you stink, and the cleaning products that we used to use actually created our production manager to have asthma attacks. So with all that in mind, I started going down the sustainable path of there's 3 different types of ink. There's solvent, there's UV, and there's latex. And the latex ink is environmentally friendly. Probably 2 years ago, we bought the 800W to our Tuggerah store, which we print white as well, which it gave us a lot of opportunities. And we quickly saw the sustainability journey of the printers. You know, HP have won global awards with their sustainability, and you know, they collect the plastic and 3D print the printers with ocean-bound plastics, and all our consumables are recyclable. So it was a bit of a corporate responsibility. We wanted to show, okay, we quickly need to bring this to the coast. So we are the only ones on the coast with this machine. It was a very expensive machine, but it does amazing things, and it's allowed us to win the Olympic contract. So we have just printed, we've fitted out 3 hotel rooms and 7 sub-sites in Paris, as well as there's 2 shipping containers that are in prime location for the like Channel 9. So we're wrapping those 2 containers for sailing and rowing as well. We'll be moving on. The shipment goes tomorrow, so we've been very busy, but we'll be moving on to the Paralympics and then the Pacific Island nations and Oceania within the next few weeks. By the end of April, it'll go. So I just thought I'd share with you some of the things that we've done. This is printed on our R1000. It's latex ink, and this is a disper board, and it's a cardboard, and they're going up in the athletes' rooms and all around. It's donated by Tourism Australia, and it basically is really light, goes up and down, and then it can go in the recycle bin straight after. But as you can see, it's got a nice overcoat on the print, so there's no vinyl, everything is environmentally friendly. So that's, and if you go into my stand, you'll see I've printed everything on cardboard, 1.5 mil cardboard. So, and that can be recycled as well. There's nothing bad, but these are some really cool things. This one is what the printer can do. In the Olympic Village, there's some areas where they want an image on the outside but an image on the inside. So instead of doing 2 layers of a vinyl, like one on the outside and one on the inside, we've printed this on just laminate, so this is clear. And as you can see, there's 2 images, one on either side. It's a 5-layer sandwich print. So that is part of the new technology. There's another one here that is really cool. So this is the 3-layer sandwich print that the machine has, that we've been able to do with this machine. And this is an Indigenous artwork. This is a 3-layer, so it's the same image either side. And the white, we've printed spot white. So the Indigenous artwork, just the whole story is with the Indigenous artwork. So a part of the journey with the Olympics is like the walk with us. So there's a lot of Indigenous work, like we've printed corroboree circles. So we've had to own the sustainability part of this, and we've had to submit it to the AOC, which then they submit it to the IOC. So that's how far the journey has to go. But we're the only ones on the coast with this printer. It's in Newcastle and it's in Sydney, but we were lucky enough to win the contract. So yeah, and I'll go over to Jack now. I'll introduce Jack from Avery Dennison. I'm doing a pilot program and he was part of our Olympic journey, so I'll just hand it over to him.
Thanks, Mel. Just to introduce to everybody who we are, just really quickly, is AB Dentist is a global organisation. We sit about 417 on the Fortune 500 list. And as a big organisation who we literally invented the first sticker that you've ever used. Every sticker you've used from theirs actually came from our technology we built in 1935. But obviously in this game, quite a lot of the film that we use is PVC. PVC face, then an adhesive technology, and then a liner on the back. And part of our journey is now to look at ways to either move away from or create circularity. Now, circularity is a big challenge in our game. Unfortunately, the ability to separate the PVC on the face and the adhesive and the liner is quite tough, and then aggregation and getting it back is also a challenge. Now, in Australia, that is coming too, and you can see from the organisations that are in some of the rooms here, I've met some really interesting organisations today actually who are starting to look at recycling some of these technologies, and we're working with partners up in Queensland as well to start to recycle some of the PVC face materials. But what we have been able to bring to market, and what we will bring out to the market in July, is a non-PVC film that has the same capabilities of all of the other films on the market. So this film will be priced the same, so there's no reason why a customer shouldn't buy it. The durability is the same, warranty is the same, has the ability to wrap cars as well, which is a very, very tough application, but you have a 55% reduction in the carbon footprint of the material from the get-go. So though circularity is not yet possible for us, and it's something we're working really hard to get to, something we're able to do is reduce our carbon footprint by 55% for every square metre that goes through Mel's printers. So what we've been doing is, we're really excited about this launch. It's a technology we've been working on for about 5 years, and we're about to bring it to the market. So we thought we'd look for pioneers in our industry that are looking to push through the sustainability space. And I think Mel at Signarama Tuggerah has undersold herself a little bit about what she's done in this space. But we were looking for people who are pioneering the sustainability side. So looking at people who are not only, yes, using better print technology, so the latex print technology that reduces the amount of harmful chemicals that they're using, but also is looking at things like their solar panels, but also their footprint, and making sure they can reduce their carbon footprint everywhere where they can. So this technology for us is a huge step forward, but it is something that is quite a big challenge for our industry, is being able to recycle these films.
Yeah,
so
and
it's something that we're really
I'm on the pilot program for this, so all the vehicles in Paris will have these decals on it, so it will be released at the same time as the Olympics are on. So I'm looking for opportunities around the coast or programs. I'm currently working with the Mariners as well, doing a couple of projects for them with these products, but I'm looking for projects that are really trying to reduce their carbon footprint. That's what happened with the Olympics. They basically come to me and said, this is what we want to do, how do we do it? And I had to go away and work with all of our suppliers and come up with a solution. So it was more of a project management job for me for the last 15 months, but it's coming to an end now. But then the Paras and the Pacific Island nations are starting up. But everything that's been done for this village, even the welcome sign, even the desk in the gym area, the Channel 9 studios, the whole lot, everything is fully sustainable. And so it's not going to come back on any boat. It is going to stay there and go into recycling.
Yeah.
So it was it's part of the journey, but it's a really exciting project that we've been able to work on. And the printer, we would never have got the contract if we didn't have that printer and the capabilities. So basically, you look at it and think, oh, it was a big investment. But at the end of the day, I think it's the way of the future that everybody needs to go. Like for us, it was showing corporate responsibility. It all started in COVID with a veggie pod, and it got me thinking, how can we make a difference in the world? And, we've just made the decisions and bitten the bullet and moved forward at Signarama Tuggerah. So not all sign shops have the capabilities, but what I'd be looking at with your current printers is what type of ink do you use. Latex is really the only environmentally friendly ink out there.
And on the Central Coast, you being the only person who can do that, and then the only person on the Central Coast in Newcastle who has access to these types of materials too at this stage. So, it's very much an area of focus for all of us at the moment.
Yeah, so there was another another product that I used called Evergreen. And if anyone's interested, drop by my stand, and I've got a thing where I'll email you all the Google Drive of all the data that backs up the Olympic story and all the choices of products. So I'm happy to share that with anyone, because people really do need to make their own informed decision. And it's one conversation at a time. We've got A-Land as a customer. So I went down and I took all my stuff, here it is. So it allows people to make their own decisions. Sometimes there isn't an application like, using this instead of core flip, but you can't put it out in the wet. But there's another product called Shark Skin Outdoor that the Olympic Committee used for the Channel 9 1 year to and I did the skirting right around the front of the stage for the Channel 9, and we did flags in the Qantas Centre and made it look like there were flags on the poles, the 12 poles that are in there. So there's all these things you can do with just cardboard that create that event,
Actually, you raise a really good point, right? And one of the things to think about with you are business owners and looking to get signage done, or you're running exhibitions like this as well, is that there are a lot of sustainable options in the industry, but they're generally either slightly more expensive or they have some sort of factor that this doesn't enable them to be used in every application as well. But if you speak to your actual signage manufacturer, there are options for them to be able to use, and there's more and more coming to market as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that, we see that there is a trend here of conscious consumerism where people are starting to look at where they actually are sourcing their materials from, and people are starting to dig further into that. So it's great to be partnered with businesses like yours who are pushing forward in that space, but there are options there as well, so people should be looking at those as well. All right.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, we hear a lot about sustainability, that it's a feel-good and businesses should do it because it's the right thing to do, which is what you said at the beginning, Mel. It started as a social responsibility thing. But it sounds like in your case, it's actually been a profit driver as well. So you've seen that.
Yeah, my bank manager didn't really like the idea at the time, and my husband nearly did backflips, but it was something that I really pushed on, that was like, no, we've got to do this. No, we've got to do this. And, technically that printer has paid for itself in one project. You know what I mean? Like, you need to pay it off over a period of time, but yeah, it's the way moving forward. It's the technology moving forward. It's the newest technology, and there's no other technology coming that's better.
I think also making your practices more sustainable is actually future-proofing your business as well, right? As consumers start to make decisions based on what they want to choose, and actually engaging with organisations after or before they engage with them as well, actually doing their research around it, I think it actually ensures that the longevity of your business to be making sure and making these decisions now, even if they're not financially the right decision at the time, they are future-proofing your business.
Well, this started with this Olympic project, and they came to me with a look and feel that was an 80-page document that I actually quoted on a 3D tour right through the village. So then we basically sat down, there was 3 of us in the industry, sat down and was like, okay, that's the building there, and we walked through. I feel like I know my way around that place.
Me too.
So, that's interesting in itself, that was the way that they went about it. And the AOC went over and did the 3D tour of the village, and that was what we used.
I think that's the start too, right?
Yeah.
The organisations that are looking at it now, but in the future, that's going to be a box that everybody's going to have to tick, right?
I'm curious about the veggie pot and the carpet area as a
It just got me thinking about things, like I even recycle my eggs now and put the vinegar in it and then water my plants, and so I don't use pesticides. It just got me thinking, like we've got to do this for the future, because like the world's a crazy place now. It was never this crazy,
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, we've all got to do something.
We definitely do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just what about the inks that you use in other products? They're all part of this recyclable, non-toxic, vegetable-based. Just talk a bit about the inks in the other products.
Well, I might actually get Jeremy to talk about the inks, because Jeremy's actually from HP. He lives at Wyong, but he's a worldwide expert that travels the world. So, he's come to...
Didn't even tuck my shirt in. Yeah, so the inks that Melissa's using are a water-based ink. We call them latex, but they're a water-based ink with a very small amount of polymer in them that enables us to print on, cardboards, but also things like car wraps, outdoor banners, and on both flexible and rigid materials. So traditionally, to create a durable print, you were using, as Mel said, either a solvent-based ink or a UV curable-based ink. And the challenge with those is the amount of hazard warning labels that are on them and then the expense of disposing of the waste in that process. Whereas with the water-based inks that Mel uses, there's no warning labels, there is nothing, they're not classified as a dangerous good, and they're water-based. Somewhere around 70% of them is water. It's really good water, like Evian quality water, but they're water-based ink. That is outdoor durable.
We're actually having a open house from HP are coming in and doing an open house at our Tuggerah store on the 2nd of May, and I've got invitations on my stand if anyone would like to attend, come and pick one up. So you can actually walk through and have a look at the whole thing.
The other thing I'll mention with the ink as well is that just because it's water-based doesn't detract from its durability or anything like that as well. So from what we do, we certify all of our products and how they're used and what components they're used with, and the HP latex inks are up there at the highest rating as well in terms of durability and warranty from an Avery Dennison perspective too. So just because it's 70% water and uses only a little bit of polymer, it doesn't use all those harsh chemicals but gets the same outcome that you would expect, and you can see the colour is vivid and strong and punchy as well, so there's no detraction in the quality of output as well by choosing a more sustainable option.
People usually try and scratch it, but it doesn't work.
And got that coating on it as well, so yeah.